Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of a Hard Knock Podcast. It's your boy Ryan Brooks here, your host. And yeah, y'all. I think last episode I mentioned that it was episode 12. I was wrong. This, in fact, is episode 12. And you know what? I'm gonna keep it a bean with y'all. Like, I'm a little bit on the struggle bus today. So I've actually been sick for the past few days. And, and I'm like at the tail end of it, I believe. But because of that, I'm a little late on recording this. But like I told y'all, I'm dedicated to getting y'all episodes every single week. So here we are, yeah. And like, what is it? It's this, I'm recording this the day the episode's dropping. So it's December 20th, couple days till Christmas, just a few more days until the end of the year. And, I mentioned last week, I really want to, next year have a lot more guests on the show. Like I had my boy, on the show last month, Terry, he was here we were talking about, if you build it, they will come. He was talking about his experiences down there in Atlanta. We were talking about just different things, service industry, all that kind of stuff. And, learn some stuff from that. I think moving forward, I'll probably try to start with at least some type of, not necessarily script, but like have some questions or stuff already in mind that I want to kind of talk through. I'm also setting up my office. Been doing some stuff in there. Funny thing is I hadn't been using my office for a long time. Actually, kind of sad story. My uncle had passed. Not this October, but the previous October. And something that we were doing is I ended up having to take a lot of his stuff. And, the whole thing's like estate sale, trying to get some stuff correct. And that being said, this is just a plug just to say like, hey, if you don't have your affairs in order, like it doesn't take a lot to set up things like, life insurance, setting up your estate, writing your will, all of these things. And man, I'm telling you, if you have a will like written somewhere, because as black folks, we really just be like, in the family, we'll just have someone who just like wrote it somewhere and never gave it to an attorney, never gave it to anyone. I'm telling you, get that stuff taken care of. It makes your family, it just makes it like one less thing for your family to have to worry about when they're unfortunately grieving for your end. So like, I just, side note, take care of that. But anyways, I had a bunch of stuff in my office, and it just, I was getting overwhelmed dealing with and looking at that stuff. Not to mention, I have this bad habit of when I'm sitting in my office chair, I like to lean back, I like to stretch kind of backwards. And I had this chair in there, this office chair, and I broke it. I broke the back of the chair. So I was sitting in this little ghetto chair for a while, and then I got all this stuff in my office. And then instead of fixing my problems, I decided to ignore them and focus on other things. So for like all of 2023, I had been working in my kitchen, which is, fine. Like the kitchen is nice, but I like to have a dedicated space for my work. I just didn't make stuff good for myself because I got a rolling whiteboard that I would just take into my kitchen and work on and stuff. And then people would come over and they'd be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is where I've been working lately." Yeah, I got to get out of the habit. This is what another thing that I've been working on is getting out of the habit of like not facing problems head on. I should have just cleaned the office. You know, half the time, the things that you put off doing aren't as big or as hard or as difficult as like the way your brain is just making it. And like a few weeks ago, because I was like, man, I really need to fix this office up. It's so funny. Like I even like, if I would have had my office in order, I probably would have originally set up this whole podcast setup in there. But don't get me wrong, I like the setup here in the living room, despite some of y'all haters that be like, oh, get off the couch, you got too many pillows, you know, oh, put on a suit and tie, whatever, man. I don't care what you got to say. I'm doing me, and this is my style, and this is my brand. But I probably would have put stuff together in the office, which I intend to do. Still have the couch setting, but I want to do some more like remote type interviews. Been looking at different softwares and stuff like that to make that happen. So when I do that, I'm going to, you know, take a lot of those interviews in the office so that I could have the computer set up where I could see who I'm talking to and everything like that. And so I finally cleaned out the office, got all of that stuff out of there, got me a new chair finally. I just been putting it off, you know what I mean? So I finally got a new chair. It feels amazing. And then after I cleaned the office and before I even put the chair, got a new chair, I was back in there working again. And I was on a Zoom call and I saw how I looked at myself on the Zoom screen. And I was like, and I looked behind me and I was like, ugh, like my office looks so ugly because I have like this little accordion door and it was like this beige tan color. And I swear it just looked like, I don't know, it was just giving jail. I don't know. It was giving jail. So I had, while I've been sick, you know, I was ordering like stuff, like I basically changed out that accordion door. I'm like a productive sick person. Like, you know, I'll be like bedridden for most of the day and then I'll like get spurts of energy to like do something around the house, you know? But so all that's to say that like I'm getting the office back together, but something that so I'm kind of all over the place today. So apologies in advance for that. Like I said, I'm not feeling too well. I don't necessarily have a full outline or what I want to talk to today, but I told y'all that I want to get into, that I want to make sure that I give you some content every single week. And I don't want to let y'all down on that, even if you're not counting on it just yet. Like that's how you make habits. This is how you make them stick. But something that I'm probably going to do next year and in prep for next year is do a lot of batching. I tried to do a little bit of batching as I started this podcast, you know, but eventually it got to the point where I was just like recording each episode within a few days before the episode, which is helpful because like it takes a long time for these things to actually process. I'm recording this right now and I'm probably not even going to get this episode out at the exact time that I like to get them out. Normally by the time you all see the episode, I've already like normally by the time I start talking about it on like Instagram and stuff like that, I've already put the episode out and I try to give like a little couple hour buffer to make sure that things uploaded right and stuff like that. This time I'm probably going to be coming right up upon that time that I post. But like, but yeah, I want to start probably doing some more batching of the episodes, getting some of these topics done ahead of time, just because I already know as I'm revving up for 2024, there's going to be some weeks where it's going to be difficult to record. But I still want to make sure that I get y'all content every single week. And that's what like, unless you're doing a live podcast every week, and even some of those, they will do like a batch for an episode that they're not gonna be able to put together. But like, a lot of the content you see out there is batch. It's so funny. When I was going through my stint trying to do like high quality content on my personal page, Like for instance, I like to cook a lot. So if you want to go check out my personal page, I don't post that often on there. You'll see me get tagged from my business page, Hard Knock Labs. But like I was going through a phase where I was doing like a lot of high quality content and then splicing in like, like my talks about like, business, product management, all that kind of stuff. And, something that I really enjoy doing is I enjoy cooking, right? So I make these cooking videos, and mind you, cooking videos are so much work. Like, especially the ones that you see that look really, really good, they are a lot of work. Like, for me personally, it was like, say there's the cooking time itself, I would probably end up adding about another 2 or 3 hours for that, just for one video. And so cooking is already like I enjoy doing it, but it's work. You know what I mean? It's not like a zero sum task, you know what I mean? And like there's like there's the whole writing your set list of like the different or the shot list, the different shots that you need that you want to have. Like you already have to have some type of vision of what it's going to look like. You have to get your shot list so you know what angles you want to get for like when you're chopping and prepping and all this kind of stuff. And then you want to get like the right angles, the right lighting, all of these different things, right? And so typically what will happen is I would spend all this time trying to get the shots right and also literally cook the food well. And I'm doing this all by myself, right? And so by the time that I'm done cooking, I don't feel like editing, because editing is a whole other thing, right? When you're editing for reels, you have like, when you take all the shots that you have, you probably have about like 30, 40 an hour's worth of like film, that you need to chop down to less than 90 seconds, which if anybody knows anything about any creative endeavors or really all of this stuff, which I think I might have mentioned this before, it's all about subtraction, making things simple. And subtracting and making things simple is so ridiculously hard, right? So what would happen is I would do all this editing and then end up, or I'd do all this cooking, and then by the time I'm done cooking, I would be like, nah, I'm not editing tonight. Like, screw that. And I probably wouldn't edit the video until like maybe a day later or a week later or weeks later. And then I wouldn't even post immediately after editing. I would schedule that post. And so what would happen oftentimes is I'll post a video of me cooking, and then someone would be like, hey, like one of my friends would be like, hey, let me come by and grab a plate. And I'm like, bruh, that food was cooked 3-4 weeks ago. And they'd be like, what you mean? You just posted it. And I'm like, are y'all really this gullible? Do y'all really think that all these content creators literally just make something and then immediately post it? Like as soon as you see what a content creator posted, they like just made it. Come on, y'all. That's not how it works. So clearly my point is to come back is like, that's the kind of take I need to kind of take on this podcast for these weeks, because I was like, oh, well, I probably just need to prep for when it's times that I'm going to like be going on vacation, or maybe I got like a client engagement that I need to travel for and stuff like that. Normally those types of things I can plan ahead for, but I didn't think about like the fact that like, whoa, like I'm going to be sick. Like, ideally not, but let's be realistic. Sometimes I'm going to get sick and I don't necessarily feel like recording right now, y'all. Like I don't, like I feel kind of crappy. I just like took some stuff to get rid of some congestion, like I said, I'm at the tail end, so I feel a lot better than I did before, but like, yeah, I gotta get that right. But what I wanted to talk to y'all today about is, I mentioned a few weeks ago about a theory that I have about a process of reaching product market fit. And something I want to say is like, I work in a service business. I'm a consultant, right? I do consulting. I work with, owners and founders, helping them, my background, like I said, is in product management, UX design, human-centered design. And And doing that, I've worked on both consumer-facing products and also enterprise and internal products. So, and when I talk about products, I also want to shift it. Like, while a lot of my focus in the past has been on digital products like software and stuff like that, I've also done service design as well. And I like to treat service design as a product because oftentimes you can augment and improve your services through ways of incorporating different types of products, like, enterprise products, stuff like that. Let me give you a couple examples, right? Like, I used to work for, back when I was on an internal enterprise product team, I worked on a digital marketing platform that was all about automation and aggregating all the different digital marketing services that y'all know about. Like, honestly, we were pretty much integrated with all of them. This company, honestly, high key is like in my opinion, I think they have one of the smartest digital marketing strategies ever. And I think is really what sets them apart. But what the other crazy thing about it is learning how to take your unique services and then creating products that you don't necessarily sell, products for your internal teams that strengthen your crazy process thing, and so that's what this did, is like we created this platform that helped their teams manage and aggregate all these different digital marketing platforms to help maximize and figure out where money should be moving in between these different ones. And I don't want to give too many other I don't want to give any trade secrets, but like, it was just really interesting. Like, this company is like the best, in my opinion, at like large scale digital marketing. And a lot of the reason is because, one, they had a process that was a unique process to how they work. And they also figured out how to create a product to support that and enhance it and improve it. And now they're light years away from anybody else that's going to try to catch up to them. I wouldn't be surprised to see them do a lot. And this is me saying this after, leaving that company years ago. Love the team that I worked with. And even most of that team isn't even there anymore. But I just know, like, from what we've built there and what they stood on, that company is going far, And so that was like one of my earlier experiences of learning how you can use digital transformation to improve even service design. You know what I'm saying? And so what I do is I help CEOs and founders, improve their current products or service offerings, or create new products or service offerings, or improve their internal processes. And, I do this, I do this in a lot of different ways, but mostly in my consulting practice is a lot of facilitation and workshopping, and I design different workshops and stuff like that, And I mentioned a few weeks ago about the importance of product market fit. And I want to tell y'all something just about that. Like, while the name says product market fit, I want you to understand that any company that wants to excel and scale and grow and be a staple over time needs to reach product market fit, whether you're selling a product or a service. You could call it service market fit. It doesn't matter, but let's just continue calling it what it's called. Excuse me. And so I talked about a theory that I have on how you can go about systematically taking an experimental approach to reaching product market fit. And that's what I'm doing right now. So, and I've been taking some of my clients through an actual workshop that I've been doing to help them navigate this space. And what I'm actually doing is doing that as as an offering, and as I've seen it work with some clients, I'm like, oh, okay, like let me actually start packaging this and selling it to help teams figure this out. And so what I'm actually doing, I mentioned before, I have a new offering that I am actually testing my full experiment process. Excuse me, gosh, I should have poured myself some water for this episode. I am testing from beginning to end of my process, kind of like I mentioned in that a few episodes ago. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check it out. It was a previous episode about my hypothesis on how to take a chop wood, carry water approach to product market fit, making daily activities that you can do in incremental ways that'll help you eventually hit that goal. Because it's all about the journey as opposed to the process. Or it's about the journey as opposed to the end, not the process. And so what I'm doing, what I've actually done, I want to just talk through kind of where I'm at in my journey right now is I've, created my whole kind of customer journey, right? What it takes to go from a cold audience member to a referral, right? And there's several different steps. And I'll actually probably, as I get a little bit deeper in here and just, clean stuff up in the office, I might actually show how I got this on the whiteboard. But I have each step in that process, right? And then what I'm starting to do with that offer is market it. So the first step, right, is turning your cold audience into a warm audience, right? So what I'm doing right now is I have a marketing campaign going on right now, and it's actually numbers wise going pretty well. But what's happening, and what I thought would happen in my hypothesis, is that if you track from there to the referral spot, you're gonna see where different blocks are happening, where there's like either there's no conversions to the next step, or the conversions are really low. And what I've noticed is that conversions are really low from the ad to the sign up for one of my free offerings. And so now what I'm doing is I'm like, okay, so I have like a few questions that I'm asking myself, because I'm like, man, my click-through rate is way better than the industry average for this ad. My cost per click is very, very low compared to the industry average, but I'm not getting people to take that next step. So now I'm like, my question is like, now I have all these hypotheses that I've started drumming up around this problem. Things like, okay, if I improve my message, if I improve the consistency of my messaging between the ad and the landing page, will that encourage more people? Will my conversion rate go up? Or if I add a note about the fact that I will respect their privacy and not sell their emails, will my rate go up? Or do I need to change the whole free resource offering? Or do I need to, change the targeting for the ad? Maybe the ad targeting is too broad, and I'm getting a lot of people that, even though while the click-through rate is really high, and the cost per click is very low, maybe that's because these are a bunch of people that actually aren't my target audience. And so what I've done is I've listed out all these different hypotheses, and I'm testing them one at a time. And so that's, and like I said, I created like a whiteboard in my office, and I literally have like a check mark or like an X mark under each of these steps to show how they're progressing and how they're improving as I do this testing. And so I just kind of wanted to bring y'all a little bit along on this process. Obviously, I don't exactly know what's going to happen or what makes the most sense. But by testing and doing it frequently, it's going to help me get there faster. And so yeah, I just wanted to kind of share that process with y'all, and I intend to share more and more as I continue to go through and test my business and test my offerings, you know. So I'm curious, as you know, as we are getting into like the end of the year, what kind of experiments y'all are going to be wanting to run on your businesses, what kind of offerings y'all are putting out there, and how you can actually take a experimental approach to it. Something I'm actually thinking of doing next year, because if you haven't seen it, I've been posting to my blog on the Hard Knock Labs website, hardknocklabs.com. We're posting Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every week blog posts, things covering everything from like product management, UX design, business design, product market fit, like all these different areas. I'll be covering all kinds of different stuff in there. So if you're interested, check out the podcast, sign up for our newsletter. But something else that I'm probably going to do as well starting next year is I actually want to do a series on the different types of experimentation that you can be running for your business. So I'm going to set it up, and I'll probably do like, a video on all these. Like, there are so many different types of experiments out there. Even people in my field don't realize how much you can actually do, and what you can do at the different points and different times to learn. And I think if you know what types of experiments you can do, it would empower you to actually do a lot of them. So I'm going to start, I might actually do a series on YouTube once I get stuff cleaned up a little bit more in the office, because I want to do it at the whiteboard and show you some of those things, and show you the different types of experiments that you can run, when they make the most sense, how to weigh different factors like the cost or time that you have available to run the experiment, all that kind of stuff. These are things I've been doing over the course of my career to get kind of gritty and get insights that, I otherwise wouldn't be able to get to. So I'm going to share all that stuff, but I feel my phone vibrating, probably some clients getting to me and all this kind of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here and get me some water. But thanks for tuning in, y'all. Until the next time, I'll probably see y'all again after Christmas and before the New Year. So maybe we'll have some content talking about what the New Year is. See you then. All right. Peace.